guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another tutorial. Today we're just going to do a quick review of time correct, or otherwise known as quantization. Let's get to it. Alright, so from the main page, let's go over to the time correct page, so the TC button right here. And we get this page right here. And let's just go through it real quick. So global timing correct. This is your main quantization feature. It could be off or on. And just very briefly, quantization is the ability to adjust your MIDI notes to the time divisions of your bar or measure. So basically you're aligning your events so that they are in time with the time divisions, whether it's 16th notes, 8th notes, etc., etc. So you are just tightening what you have recorded manually. You're tightening it using quantization. So global timing, if it's on, okay, then if it's on before you record something and then you start to record, quantization is going to be applied to whatever you're playing automatically. If this is off, no quantization will be applied while you're recording, so you can record kind of with a natural feel, but then if you're not happy with it, you can go back later, turn it on, and then apply quantization based on the different settings that you put in. So let's keep this on for now. Time division, as I mentioned before, this is your grid or the time divisions across your bar or your measure. And this is basically just creating divisions in time against which your MIDI notes will be aligned to. You can increase the resolution by increasing the divisions or decrease the resolutions. Okay, as you decrease time divisions, if you quantize to a larger division like a quarter note or an eighth note, the quantization is going to be very harsh and it's going to be very unnatural. If you increase to these higher time divisions like 130 seconds, 164, the resolution of the time divisions increases and the alignment of what you're playing to those time divisions will be more natural. You can also, if you're playing a triplet type of beat, instead of playing do do da do do da, like a very four on the floor type of beat, if you're playing a triplet kind of a beat like da 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 do da da do da da, and you want to quantize what you're playing in that kind of a triplet rhythm, then you want to hit this triplet button, and you could see now that all the time divisions have a T beside them, and that means you're recording in a triplet tempo. Okay. And then the start is just tells you which part of your MIDI note is going to line up with the time division. Is it the start of your MIDI notes? That's typically what it is, but there may be an instance that you may want to have the MIDI notes aligned at the end of the note. So aligning the end of the MIDI note with the time division. I can't really think of a situation like that. I've never experienced that, but perhaps with something that has a longer sustain, you want all the end of the sustains to be aligned with a time division. All right, and legato, that basically will extend your MIDI note until it reaches the following note. But most of the time we just use the start. The number of, this is really important, the events. This had me confused for a while, but it's clarified now. When you have events set at all, that means that whatever track is highlighted in your arranger or your tracks. Right now I have my drum track that's highlighted. So whatever is highlighted, whatever track is highlighted, all events within that track will be quantized. You can also have selected events, and so in that case you would go to your grid view using the select tool here. You would select which events, or you can hit like a pad, let's say the hi-hats. You hit the hi-hat pad, select all the hi-hat events, and just those events will be quantized. So that's what the select is for. Or you can use the third feature, which is range. Range allows you to select from a range of bars. So let's say out of 4 bars, you want to quantize just the first 2. You can do that here by selecting the bars to go. And also, you can select which pads you want to quantize. So if I hit my pad in this page, let's say I hit my bass drum pad here, it lights up. My snare, my hi-hat, you see those pads are lighting up. That means that those pads are going to be actively quantized within the bars that I'm selecting. So this range is very powerful. Okay, let's close this out. Oh, sorry. The strength feature, strength basically tells you how much it's going to quantize. So if you think of your time division as a magnet and your MIDI note as a piece of metal, the stronger the magnet, the stronger the attraction of the metal to that magnet. So same thing, the stronger the strength at 100%, if that MIDI note is within range, it's going to be attracted completely to that time division. If you set this at like 50%, then basically your MIDI note, if it's offbeat, it's going to travel half the distance toward that time division. So it's going to be tighter, but it will keep a more natural sound or tempo to it. Okay, and the window is just how many events you want to be included within this quantization event. So let's say you have a bass drum and you have a ghost note, a ghost kick, sorry, a kick drum and a ghost kick, and you want to align your kick drum with the time division, and so but you don't want to include that ghost note in along for the ride. So you can play with the window, and basically you're just reducing the range within which quantization will occur. Okay. Shift timing, this basically will it's kind of like the nudge feature in your grid edit. Shift timing will allow you, for whatever is selected, whether it's all or just a one pad, it will shift the timing of that so that it could be a little bit offbeat, again giving a more natural feel to it. Okay, and I'll give you examples of all of this in a second. And last but not least, the swing feature. This will give your very plain beat of a nice kind of little swing to it. So instead of kind of like the triplets. So instead of playing do ta do ta, it could be something like do ta do ta do ta. So it's adding kind of a swing to it, and that could be used in jazz and hip hop or whatever. All right, so let's create a beat and try some of these features out. Okay. All right, so I've turned the global timing correct off. Okay, so it's going to record whatever I play as is. And let's close this out. We're in the main page. Let's go to the arranger mode. I have a 2-bar loop set up here. So I'm going to hit record, and I'm going to try to play a little offbeat so we can attempt to quantize it. Here we go. Okay, so you could hear that the bass drum and the hi-hat were a bit off. We can go in and visualize that in the grid. You could see here, let's magnify this. You could see my bass drum on this bottom row here. This is offbeat. Offbeat again. The hi-hats are not aligned either. So let's try to quantize this. We'll turn the global time correct on. We'll keep it at 1/16 for now. And 100% strength, we'll say do it. And I could see right away the bass drum here is now aligned with the time division. And so let's listen. Okay, what happened is that, let's go back. So the bass drum was quantized, but the hi-hat wasn't because I had this on selected. So let's go to all. We want everything to be quantized. So that's good. I made that mistake. And let's try it again. Do it. And now let's listen. Okay, most of it is really aligned. What it did here, these two hi-hats, it brought them closer together, and that's because this first note was played a little too late, and so basically the quantization is snapping it over to the next time division. All right, so we can just select this guy here, and I can nudge it over like that. Again, because I have my time correct on 1/16 and the global timing correct is on, I can select any event and kind of move it around like this. So now let's take a listen. Okay, so now everything is good. So everything quantized. Oh, here's another one. Let me just fix that. Okay, there we go. And again, you may not want to do this amount of quantization, right? So that's where the 50% or the strength of the quantization comes into play. So right now we did everything on 100, so it's really snapping those offbeats to the grid, aligning it to the time divisions. But we can, let's artificially create a situation here. For example, this bass drum. Let's select this guy here on, on the bottom. And I am going to nudge that. I'm going to take the timing correct off, and I'm going to move this event over slightly like this. Okay, and I'm going to do a 50% quantization on this selected track. So we'll go to time correct. It's already kind of filled in the selected on its own because I had selected the bass drum. I'm going to turn the time correct on, and I'm going to bring this down to 50%. So it'll take us halfway to the time division bar. So let's see, do it. And yep, you could see that it quantized it, but it didn't quite go to the to this time division bar here. I don't know if you could see it, it's pretty faint. But I'm going to do undo, and you're going to see this move. And then I'm going to do redo, and you see. And now I'm going to do undo again. I'm going to go to 100%, and now you're going to see it snap right to the grid. And say do it. And there we go. So undo. And now it's going 100% of the way. So that's kind of the principle of how it works. Now let's go back to time correct, and let me show you what shift timing can do. I'm going to shift time the bass or the kick drum. All right, I'm going to give it that kind of a this laid back feel by playing it a little after the beat. And so I'm going to close this out. I'm going to select all of my bass drum events. So see, by pressing the pads, it highlights, you know, the that instrument track. So my kick drums are highlighted now. I'm going to go to time correct. Let's do the shift timing to like 5 or 6 maybe. And hit do it. And now you could see that they're all, the bass drums are shifted off. So let's see what it sounds like. So you hear it's kind of, it's shifted vis-a-vis the hi-hat. It's a little bit after, so gives it this nice kind of a natural feel. So I kind of like that. Let's go back to time correct, and now let's add some swing. Swing, sometimes you might see that it may not work all the time, and it depends on the speed of your actual beat that you're playing and the time division you've selected. So let's see if it works with the 1/16th time division. I'm going to bring this up to 65 and hit do it, and let's see if if it adds any swing. So it doesn't add any swing at all. So that means my time division is off for this particular tempo to have a swing added to it by whatever algorithm it uses. So let's go back to time correct. I'm going to put this to 8th note, and let's do 62% swing. I'll hit do it. Yep. Notice that it's only doing the bass drum because I forgot this is on selected. So I want this to do a swing on all. So I'll put it to all. I'll hit do it again. There we go. So that's like perfect for like a more jazzy type beat. Okay, I'm going to undo the swings and undo again. Okay. All right. And one last thing, let's try the triplets to see how it will sound with the triplet. We can, it'll be very similar to the swing, so let's try it out. 70 on a triplet, hit do it. Once again, I forgot to take this to all. Let's move it to all and then hit do it again. Alright, so the triplets gives it a little bit more pronounced. I actually like the triplet feel when we're using the swing as well. Probably somehow in the music theory that's how swing works anyways. So I don't have a demo for the window. That's something you'll have to play around with, and that's something where if you have a lot of MIDI notes around, like a lot of hi-hat hits and a lot of percussion going on around that time division, that's where you might want to narrow the window down, so you're just quantizing things that should be near that on that downbeat. The best way is to play around with it and experiment. So, all right, so that's it. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe if you haven't yet. I would really appreciate that. That'll help my channel. It'll help promote this video to others in the community, and it'll also tell me that you guys appreciate this content, and it'll motivate me to make more. Yeah, if you have any questions or comments, let me know down in the comments, and that's it. So hope you have a great day and make some great beats. Bye.